I just wanted to make another quick video, or hopefully it will be quick, at least in comparison to my last three. Sorry about that. Well, not really, because I kind of needed to talk, and there was a lot to say, so, yeah. But lately I have been struggling with how much I eat, with like my body image, how I feel about myself and my body, and I feel like either I don't eat enough or I eat too much, and it's nothing new, it's just I'm kind of sick and tired of it. And like 2 Fridays ago, I went to go work out at the gym on campus, and I wound up, like, I looked and I felt like I had gained weight, so I went on the scale after taking a 3-pound weight over to the scale to make sure that I knew how much it was going to register as, because I'm weird like that, and also because sometimes, actually most of the time, for some reason the scale will say 3.1 pounds when it's a 3-pound scale. I mean 3-pound weight. So I just wanted to see what it was, and I found out that I had gained weight. I don't want to put numbers because I don't want to say numbers because I don't want to trigger people, but it wasn't a significant amount of weight overall. It didn't push me into an unhealthy weight. It didn't, like, it wasn't necessarily, or more likely than not, let's put it this way, more likely than not, it was not going to negatively impact my physical health to be at that weight. It was still within my healthy range. And anyway, I felt, knowing that, I still felt like crap about myself, and I went and I worked out, and I did a really intensive workout that I should not have done. I should not have pushed myself that far. Especially towards the end, I couldn't really feel my legs. They kind of felt like jello, and they're numbish, which, like, my legs usually feel kind of like jello when I work out, but it's usually never that bad. And I went to work out, like I said, on Friday. My legs were still killing me several days later because it was that intensive a workout. And my self-thoughts, like what I was thinking to myself, my self-talk, I mean, it started off positive, like, you can do this, you can work out, you know, like, all positive, like, you can do this, you go girl, kind of a thing. And then it just quickly went downhill to just really negative things, like that I am fat and lazy and worthless, and it just kind of like snowballed, and it pushed me too far, and I went way too far, and I shouldn't have done it, and I knew I shouldn't have done it, and then I said that afterwards I wasn't going to eat anything else, or I was going to, I don't know if I want to say this, especially because my sister is potentially going to see this. I want to caveat this with, I do not condone eating disorder behaviors. I do not condone any kind of self-destructive behaviors. However, I am not a perfect human. I make mistakes. I have my own struggles, but that's part of why I do not condone these behaviors, because I understand on a personal level just how difficult they are to deal with, and just how much of a problem they can cause in your life while they actually don't solve anything. And so I do not recommend these behaviors. I do not give tips on any of this stuff, but and if my sister is watching this, please, 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 first off, don't tell Mom. Second off, and this goes to actually all my followers, the second part, do not try this. It is not worth it. It will not make you happy. It will not make you healthy. It will make you upset. It will make you feel guilty. It will make you feel disgusted with yourself even more so. And I feel really bad, especially because my sister wanted me to help her with her science essay. She was supposed to write about some of the problems that she had while she was working on her science project, in which she made a plant cell model out of beads and not yarn, but string, kind of. I don't know the exact term, so yeah. But she made it out of that, and she wanted me to help her like pick out. She had several different possible paragraphs. She wanted me to see which one I liked best for the different parts of the paper, and like give her feedback on how she could fix it. And so I was starting to do that, and then I told her that I'd be right back, and I put my IM status as away, and then I tried to, not for the first time, but I tried to make myself throw up because I had eaten more, even though I was hungry, and I did push myself way farther than I should have. And I tried for like ever, and pretty much nothing would come out, and I felt like crap about myself. And then later on, I learned that my sister had been waiting for like ever, because she thought that I was just like, I had just gone to the bathroom and that I'd be back to help her. So she was still waiting for me to help her with the project, and I felt like absolute crap, because I already feel like I'm not necessarily the greatest sister, partially because my depression causes me to not have motivation or energy to go and do things with her, to hang out with her, to play games with her. When it's not that I don't want to, it's just I feel so crappy that it takes too much energy and too much motivation to do it. Like, I would love to do those kinds of things with her. Like, hang out with her, play games, do arts and crafts, watch movies, watch TV, whatever she wants to do, whatever we want to do together. But I don't always feel like I'm up to it. But I digress. So, finding out that she had been waiting all that time while I was trying to make myself throw up made me feel that much worse, and like that much more of a disgusting and lowly person. And it really made me not feel good about myself. And then last Wednesday I went and worked out, and I don't know why exactly, but I woke up Wednesday for my first class, and I couldn't get my butt out of bed. And then, so I went back to sleep for like 2 hours, and I got up and I got ready for my second and my third class, which are right after each other. And I went, and I was just in a really bad mood, a really bad state of mind. I was triggered. Excuse me. I was not doing well, so I came back to my apartment, and I was trying to find some razors so that I could shave. And it turns out I had thrown them all out except for an electric razor that doesn't work all that well, or doesn't work very well. Because I needed a shave so that I could go work out and try to blow off some of the steam and blow off some of the steam and some of the built up tension and stress. Except of course, I wound up again pushing myself further than I should have. Not necessarily as far as I did 2 Fridays ago, but I did push myself way too far, and my body wasn't happy about it. And at least this time, there wasn't as much negative self-talk. There wasn't necessarily a whole heck of a lot of positive self-talk, but I was pretty much just listening to my MP3 player, and I think part of the problem with the second to last time I worked out was that my MP3 player actually died on me mid-workout, so I couldn't at least try to drown out my thoughts a little bit and focus on the music. So the thoughts had more freedom and more of a chance to become really, really, really negative in a snowball effect. But at least, like, on Wednesday, I was trying to burn a certain number of calories, like, and it kept going up, like it did the second to last time I went to work out. But after I went and worked out, I was just going to have less than the amount of calories I burned, or about the same amount of calories that I burned while working out. And then I decided, you know what, screw it. I just worked out, and I hadn't gotten a chance to eat that day because I had just woken up and gotten ready for my classes and went to class, and I didn't have time to grab anything or get anything to eat. And so I was like, you know what, screw it, I want pasta. Like, I don't know why exactly, I just had a really strong craving for pasta. And so I just made myself some pasta, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, screw calories, screw all of that. I don't need to worry about that. I just need to take care of my body. And I want to be more like that, where it's like, okay, I need to take care of myself, I need to be healthy so that I can do what I want to do. And I know that my physical health and my mental health are interconnected. So if I don't take care of myself physically, then my mental health is going to negatively be impacted. And I don't want that. And I know, like, if I don't get enough sleep, like today, where I got like 3 hours of sleep and I've been up for probably 14 or 15 hours at this point, I'm just kind of like, and I just need to take care of myself. But at the same time, there are those thoughts where it's like, okay, I need to do this, I need to be thinner, I need to be skinnier, I need to be less flabby, I need to be more in control of what I eat. But I don't want to do that. I know that does not make me happy. That does not make me healthy. That does not make me feel good. That does not make me a better person. That does nothing good for me. And I know this. But there are times when it's just like, those thoughts, those thoughts just start to kick in and kind of try to take control. And it's like, sometimes I don't know if I necessarily want to combat them. But I mean, if I step back and I take a look and I just breathe and think about it, I know that that's not going to give me what I want out of life. And I know that that is not the kind of image or kind of behaviors that I want to display for others to try to emulate me. Like, I don't want my sister to feel like it's okay to skip meals or count calories or say that certain foods are off limit because they're too high in fat or too high in calories, or feel like she needs to purge after she eats too much or even eats at all, or hurt herself in some way to compensate for the fact that she ate, regardless of how much she ate. I do not want, and this goes to anyone, I do not want anyone to have to do that, or to think that that's the way to live. But especially my sister, because I feel like, at least to an extent, she does look up to me, even though sometimes she's a royal pain in my butt, and she just is grouchy and annoying and all that. I know that she's also a strong, independent, capable, creative, compassionate, passionate, amazing person, and I do not want her to lose who she is to this, because it steals who you are. It makes you become everything you thought you would never be, and you usually don't think that it's going to happen to you. And then when you realize that it has started to happen, that's when it's usually too late and you already feel like you're stuck in it, and it's like, oh well, I just need to keep going, and maybe when I reach X weight, then I can ask for help or whatever, but then it's just going to snowball and become a worse and worse problem. The same thing goes with self-injury. It starts off with like a few scratches, or maybe like a minor burn, or a few minor cuts or whatever, and it just over time escalates and becomes a worse and worse problem. All the while, though, it just pushes whatever you're trying to avoid, whatever you're running from, it just pushes it under the surface. But the thing is, with pushing things under the surface, they're always there, ready to come out in one way or another. And usually when you push things under the surface, they are going to come out in really unhelpful ways. And sometimes at the least expected or least desired time. And it's going to be a whole heck of a lot worse than if you were to just face it head on. It's not going to be necessarily easy or pleasant or fun to deal with things head on, but it is better in the long run. It will make things easier in the long run, because then you don't have to deal with the additional problems that have come because of that maladaptive behavior. You don't have to deal with your initial problem having metamorphosized into this massive, humongous problem that has taken on a life of its own, or more aptly, has taken over your life and is living for you, instead of you living your life to the fullest and making the most of the time that you have and doing what you want to do, doing what makes you happy. Instead, you're living for your illness, for your maladaptive behavior, for your addiction, whatever you want to call it. It's not worth it. It honestly is not. I know it seems like it is, honestly, and I am not trying to be a hypocrite. I am just trying to pass on my wisdom, what I have gained from going through this and from helping out other people and supporting other people who have gone through similar things. In the end, it is not worth it. It will not bring you popularity. It will not bring you success. It will not bring you happiness. It will not bring you friends. It will not bring you wealth. It will not bring you anything good. And anything good long term. There might be what seem like positive consequences in the short term, but they will quickly fade away. Like, people might compliment you if you're losing weight, but in the long run, if you lose too much weight, then you could die. You could have serious health complications. You could be hospitalized, potentially against your will, and force-fed, have a tube in your nose because your body needs nutrition and you're psychologically not willing or able to do that, to give your body what it needs. Or you could be hospitalized because you have cut too deep, you've gone too far with your self-injury, and you're out of control and you are not safe to be alone. You are not safe. You are a danger to yourself, a hazard to yourself, and other people need to step in and intervene, because if they don't, then there's a possibility that you're going to cross the line and not be able to undo the damage that you've done, and you will never be able to get a second chance if that happens. If you go too far and you die, then that's it, at least in this life. Who knows what happens after this, but Is that really how you want to live? Is it really worth it to feel like an outcast, to feel like no one cares, to feel like you have to hide things from other people and build up these massive walls around yourself, and you're always afraid to let people in, you're always afraid that someone's going to see a crack in your mask and call you on it, and they're not going to believe your BS, even though usually people do. Just one time someone doesn't, and your cover is blown, and your walls come tumbling down. And things just wind up way worse than if you were to have never built the walls in the first place and to have actually dealt with what was going on. Sorry, this was honestly not supposed to be this long, and I need to not talk so much right now, and my throat's bugging me. So I apologize, and if anyone watched all this, thank you. I really hope that people do watch this and do listen to what I have to say, because, not because I want people to listen to me and think that I'm all awesome and cool and whatnot, but because what I am saying is really important and it needs to be heard, it needs to be known. So, stay strong and take care of everyone. If anyone needs any support or advice, feel free to send me a message or leave me a comment on this video. Take care, everyone.